Rasa-pancadhyayi, 10th Canto, 29th Chapter, 9th Verse. Now we are hearing the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. In the Ujjvala Nila Mani, Rupa Goswami tells that the Muni Chari Gopis are sadhan siddhas. In the Padma Puran, it describes that when the Dandakaranya rishis worshipped Gopal with the Gopal mantra, in that life they could not achieve their goal. After having darshan of Ramchandra, they developed even stronger desire to meet with their beloved and prayed to him. Ramchandra accepted them. He gave them his mercy, but said, "I cannot directly accept you in this incarnation." By his mercy, they came to Braj and took birth from the wombs of the gopis. Still, however, they had mukti from samsara, but not anything beyond that. Kavi Karnapur Goswami describes in his commentary that some gopis were stopped in their homes by their husbands and their parents and relatives. The dharma of a woman is to serve and follow her husband. Still, they gave up everything and came to Achyuta, Sri Krishna. On this subject matter, Kavi Karnapur describes that in the sequence of Ragmayi Bhakti, they have crossed all anarthas and the stages of Nishtha, Shakti, Ruchi, Bhav, and so forth. They are still in the Aparipakva Dasa, meaning not fully matured stage. Yogamaya Devi gave them birth in Gokul. They became the daughters of the gopis, and they were sadhan siddhas. They then Yogamaya arranged a process for them to come into the association of the Nitya Siddhas. Until we have the association of the Nitya Siddhas and their mercy, we cannot directly meet with Krishna. After receiving Krishna's rati, then they also gradually entered into Krishna's prem, sneha, man, pranay, rag, modan, madan, and so forth. So they had not reached all these stages of progress. They gradually had to continue elevating into these different stages of pure love. Yogamaya made like another form of the gopis, like a Maya Murti, and kept that in their homes so that there would be no disturbance in their homes when they went to meet with Sri Krishna. They had no attachment, and no Maya could touch them, or no one with a Mayic mood could touch them. Their minds were not corrupt or impure. When they heard Krishna's flute, they endeavored to go to Krishna. By the help of Yogamaya, they were successful in coming to Sri Krishna. and there they had the fortune of the association of the Nityasiddhas, and there the stages of their prem developed. Still, however, there was some lacking. When some trouble came or obstacle in their meeting, then at that time they fully gave up their gunamayi nature, and they achieved the direct guidance of the Nityasiddhas, and then fully could be the beloveds of Sri Krishna and developed further and further in their moods and in their love. Those who had an upayukta gunamaya deha that was removed by Yogamaya, those who were stopped by their husbands and could not meet with Krishna, they were locked in their homes. This was like a great obstacle. However, they first became so absorbed in Sri Krishna and prayed so sincerely and deeply that Yogamaya arranged for them to leave their bodies and attain a spiritual form and meet first with Krishna. The gopis thought of Krishna only, not at all of their relatives, and they were only fully absorbed in prem of him. Their husbands stopped them on the path and began to chastise them and told them, "You cannot leave the homes, stay at your home." Then they could not go with that body to meet with Krishna. Then, staying in their rooms, locked inside, thinking of Krishna as their pran bandhu, beloved of their life, they meditated very deeply on him, and they began to pray, "O Vrindavan Kalanidhi, O Henata Nayana Abhirama." In this way, they were very restless in separation from Krishna. They thought, "We could not have your darshan." In their minds, they had darshan of Krishna and were lamenting. They meditated on Krishna and absorbed their minds in Sri Krishna. Then their body departed. They could not even tell when this happened. They did not know when they left their body and entered their Atma Sarir, spiritual form. Those who had the association of the Nityasiddhas did not have this obstacle. Those who had not had the association of the Nityasiddhas had this problem come. By the power of their mantras and their sadhan, they had no attachment, and also easily they left their body without any pain or trouble and achieved spiritual forms in which they reached Sri Krishna first of all. The Nityasiddhas and those who had association with the Nityasiddhas, they could not reach Krishna as fast as the other gopis who were bound in their homes and who gave up their bodies and achieved their spiritual forms. In this way they progressed. Now we will hear the 10th verse. experiencing intense separation from their beloved and lamenting greatly. All the gopis' obstacles in meeting Krishna were burnt away. Any scent of any remaining obstacle was all destroyed by their burning separation and desire to meet with Krishna. Was there any pop before in the gopis? No, they had no sin. What did they have holding them back from meeting Krishna? Those who do sadhan bhajan, they do not have any pop or duskriti, anarthas. This is all burnt away. Still, some obstacle may be there. What is that? It is very difficult to cross over it. There is no problem. Everything is nice. Everything is happy. Everyone is pleased with you, respecting you, worshipping you. All opulence is there. This is not easy to give up or to cross over. Therefore, if there is suffering, troubles, this is good. When we have all good facility and respect, and people are worshipping us, in this way they are binding us to them. It is very hard to give them all up and to go in a solitary way directly to Sri Krishna and to engage yourself in his service. To give all this up and to go ahead alone to Sri Krishna is very difficult in such a situation. This is not auspicious, therefore it is inauspicious. In this world, everyone thinks it is very good. This is punya, sukriti, subha, auspicious, and the result of pious merits, and it looks like it's a good thing, but it is very dangerous. This is one kind of bondage. Sanatana Goswami said that if someone is, Sanatan said, Raja more priti kore e more bandhan. He said, I am like the prime minister, but the king likes me so much, and this is my bondage. So he said, oh, I'm very sick, I cannot go to my work. The king sent a doctor and gave all facility, and then he went himself to meet Sanatan and said, why aren't you coming to work? Why aren't you coming to see me? He said, your younger brother has already left, and now you are also acting like this with me. In this way the whole kingdom will be destroyed. Therefore, please mercifully do all your state work. You are like my brother. I cannot do anything without you. Please accept me and do not reject me. Please do not act in such a neglectful way. But Sanatana Goswami said, I cannot do this any longer. They made a temple, they made Radha Kund, Sham Kund, Rup Sagar, many different kunds and temples, and they would engage in kirtan, harikatha, and invite many sadhus and do nice feasts and have Bhagavat Katha and give charity. They were doing everything, and the king would not stop them because they were doing all his work very nicely. Even though it was another faith or dharma, he would not stop them. Even though they would do all these things independently, he was supporting them. But still, Sanatana Goswami said, this affection from the king is a bondage for me. Here, until we destroy this punya rasi, meaning the scent of punya, our auspicious work, and the results of that, until that leaves us, that is a form of bondage. Therefore, by their firm intelligence, they achieved Krishna and prayed to him, and then they gave up their gunamahi daya. They had very deep mamata and attraction towards Krishna. In his Bhavarta Dipika, Sridhar Swami states, the gopis had some remnant of the Gunamayi Deha and external auspicious merit. They had done sadhana, and the result of that must come. When you do tapasya, there is great struggle and difficulty, and the result of that will come. You get punya and subha, auspicious results that come to you externally, but they can become a form of bondage, as we heard. To develop spontaneous love and affection is another thing, and to perform tyag and tapasya, to renounce and to do austerities, that is one thing. By our austerities and our renunciation, we do not develop pure love, or anurag, or prem for Krishna. By this we can be free from samsara, but we will also get a fruit for it. As much as we renounce, we will get millions of times more things. And we will be worshipped like gods. Whatever austerity we will do, we will receive an appropriate amount, like as a scale. Everything will be given to us. Therefore, that is not the method to develop pure love. If we receive the mercy of the beloveds of the Lord and greed develops, then we can develop this pure love. Otherwise, it is not possible. How, however, could they give up the Gunamayi Deha, the body made of matter, and the gunas, or the modes of nature? When a problem came, an obstacle came, then they developed deeper absorption in Sri Krishna. Therefore, Krishna knowingly arranges some tribulations for his devotees so that they can progress further. This is the method to progress on the path of spiritual development. We must give up attachment to respect and honor. These things cannot help us progress. They will hold us back if we are worshipped and we have wealth and respect and prestige. Therefore, what did Krishna do? He arranged a vipatti, or externally what appeared to be a calamity. This is the mercy of Yogamaya. No one is against Krishna in Braj. And if someone wants to go to Krishna, there would be no obstacle in this. No one had any doubt in Krishna. Only Jotila and Kotila are shown to have some doubt in Radharani and the other gopis, and they would make some obstacles in the meeting with Krishna. Still, however, they are there by the arrangement of Yogamaya, and this is to develop a deeper anurag. But Nanda Baba and Jashoda Mata were not against Krishna and had no doubt in Krishna's character. Yogamaya Devi has this duty or function. If there is an obstacle and someone is against, then your love increases. If someone is doing a work, a job, and you are trying to stop them and telling them not to do it, then they will develop more enthusiasm to do it, and they will push against you and even strive harder. But if you don't say anything, gradually they may stop doing it. But the more the obstacles come to them, the more they will be enthusiastic to do that action. This is people's nature. Therefore, obstacles arise to help us further develop our enthusiasm and greed. But we should not think they were against Krishna in Braj. No one knew, however, that Krishna was God. If Krishna is not God, then how would they be liberated of their gunamayi deha, their body made of matter?
के रूप में कृष्ण को प्राप्त होगा। कहते हैं कृष्ण को देख करके उनके प्रति आकर्षण और उनको
Seeing Krishna, they
अपने
would
प्रियतम के रूप में
think of him
ग्रहण
as their beloved, and they felt so much attraction towards him. They accepted him as this. If someone accepts God as their beloved,
तो उनके लिए क्या बाकी रहेगा?
then there is no lacking for them in any way.
और
There's
अन्यत्र
nothing
जो
left for
उनका
them
प्रीति थी
to achieve.
और प्रीति
However,
तत्क्षणात् विदुति सर्वम प्रीति
it is
सन्ति।
said, Vidunoti Surit Sitam.
ओ सूरित भगवान प्रियतम को
When
जब हृदय
God
में
is considered Surit, your dearmost friend, and your beloved, and you accept him in your heart, then whatever moha or illusory attachment you have for others, or shubha, material auspiciousness, and piety, and pious merits which give good material facility, that will all be washed away because you have brought the Lord inside your heart.
ऐसा कोई
In Braj,
व्यक्ति नहीं था
there is no person
कि
who
कृष्ण से मिलने के लिए
would try to stop someone from meeting with Krishna.
सब सर्वत्र गमनागमन करते हैं,
Krishna would move everywhere in Braj.
सबके पास जाते हैं,
He would meet with everyone,
सबसे
and he
मिलते
had
हैं,
a good relation with everyone.
उनके विरोधी कोई नहीं
No
था।
one was against Krishna amongst the Brajabasis. So why did the husbands of the gopis, of some of the gopis, stop them in their homes? As we heard, this was only to help them develop further by presenting an obstacle.
प्रियतम के रूप में हैं, प्राप्त करने के लिए उनके अंदर तीव्र उत्कंठा हुई।
In this way, they developed tivra, or
उनको
very
प्राप्त
powerful greed
सब कुछ
and eagerness to meet with Krishna.
तत्क्षणात्
And then, immediately, without any delay, they entered their transcendental forms and arrived in front of Sri Krishna.
कहते हैं दुस्सह कृष्ण विरह, ये विरह क्यों उपस्थित हुई उनके लिए?
Why did they have to experience this separation,
कृष्ण को देखते थे,
which was like a burning fire? Before, they would see Krishna
प्रीति तो थी,
and they had love for him and attraction.
बाधा पड़ा
When an obstacle came, however,
और तीव्र उत्कंठा हुई।
then
ये
their
कारण क्या
eagerness
है?
increased manifold.
कृष्ण ने बंसी वादन
Why? When Krishna played on his flute,
जिन लोगों ने
those
पहले से ही गोपाल
who
मंत्र
had performed
सब किया,
the chanting of the Gopala mantra and meditated on Gopal,
हृदय में धारण करने के लिए बहुत प्रयत्न किया।
they endeavored to bring Gopal within their heart, and when they took birth in Braj, they performed service there. Sometimes
नंबर वन में
they would go to Nanda Bhavan
कुछ मिठाइयाँ
and send some sweets there for Gopal. Sometimes they would make butter in their homes and send that to Nanda Bhavan,
जो ये
or Krishna would come and steal it from them. In this way, they performed service, and the fruit of service can never be lost. It is said that Krishna accepts a small service to be very great. It may seem like it is a very small service you are doing, like you give a glass of water to Thakurji, or a fruit,
मिठाई दे दी,
or a sweet.
किंतु
However,
पहले उन्होंने बहुत साधन की,
this has a great powerful effect. Before, they had done sadhana, but that was for themselves. It was for their own gain.
जन्म ले ली
But when they took birth in Braj
अपने सौभाग्य से, अब जो इन्होंने थोड़ा सा सेवा किया,
and performed a little service there,
से
then as a result of that service, they developed anurag,
आ जाए।
and mamata came.
ये ममता अनमोल है,
This mamata is
अनुराग का कोई
priceless.
है,
It is the most valuable substance. It has no equal.
उनको उनकी सेवा को स्वीकार कर लिया।
If Krishna accepts our service, then life is truly successful.
ये सेवा
Even
देखने में
if externally
नहीं है,
this service does not look nice or complete,
किंतु प्रभु ने
still
स्वीकार कर लिया।
Krishna accepts it, and then everything
उनको आसन नहीं बिछाया,
is achieved. Even if you do not give him an asan and ring a bell
लेप नहीं
and
लगाया,
offer him chandan,
और उनके लिए सुंदर पानी की
even
व्यवस्था
if
नहीं,
you do not give nice water,
किंतु कुछ बनाया,
still you cook something,
कुछ
or
देखा,
you see something nice and buy it and bring it for Krishna, or you arrange something, then when you offer that
तो उनको
and think of God, then Krishna will also think, oh, they did this for me. Krishna accepts this then. If your mood is sincere and you offer with love, then he accepts that, and that is imperishable.
कृष्ण आकर के कर लिया
Krishna would come and steal from the gopis and feed them with his own hand.
भी कहते हैं
Gurudev would say,
देखो
look,
त्याग तपस्या
in Tyag and Tapasya, Puja and Pat, meaning
सब कुछ
renunciation, austerities, worship, study,
और
put that on one side of a scale, and on the other side, put the natural service and love of the Brajadevis
करिया
and the maidservants.
थोड़ा सा
If
सेवा
they
किया
do even a small amount of service, that is
भगवान को
millions of times more valuable than all the austerity, worship, study, and so forth. By doing this, then God himself enters within your heart and manifests before your eyes,
अनुराग उनको मिल गया
and you achieve pure love and devotion, or anurag.
त्याग तपस्या
Therefore, we should not go to the path of austerity, renunciation, performance of sacrifice, charity, and all these things that cannot destroy the Shubha and Asubha. Asubha is inauspiciousness, and Shubha is auspicious, and both of these are obstacles. He may give us all wealth and position and prestige, but not anurag. Therefore, God's service
ये बहुत
is
जरूरी है
very important and necessary. Those who have no eagerness to serve and are only absorbed in their own austerity, their own study, their own
पत्थर लकड़ की
cultivation and so forth, this is only like being a stone or a wood, piece of wood.
कोई मतलब का नहीं
They have no connection with Krishna.
एक व्यक्ति
One person is drowning in the ocean. How will he be saved?
भगवान से प्रार्थना कर
If he prays to God,
हे प्रभु रक्षा
"Oh Lord, please save me,"
लकड़ी की
then
बहुत बड़ा झाड़ मिल गया
he found a big
बैठा हुआ
piece of wood floating, and he grabbed onto that, and in time, gradually he came to the shore.
आ गया दूसरा
And on the shore, he thought, oh, this wood saved my life.
जान बचा नहीं
He does not think that God saved him, the wood saved him.
अरे बाबा तुम्हें समुद्र में लकड़ी
But
कहाँ से आई
where did the wood come in the ocean from? You were drowning. Where did the wood come from?
किसको पूछा
You prayed
सबको बोला ये
to
लकड़ी
God,
कहाँ से
and then the wood came.
लकड़ी नहीं होते मैं तो
Then people asked him, how were you saved? When he told the story, he said, oh, I was saved by that piece of wood.
कि प्रभु ने मुझे लकड़ी
But he did not say that God sent the wood and he saved me.
वो लकड़ी छोड़ करके आ गया
Then that wood that was on the shore, after some days he came back to that area and he saw the wood was gone.
वहाँ के नौकर
In its place he saw a boat,
तो पूछा भाई
and he asked the boatman,
यहाँ बड़ा भाई लकड़ी का धड़ था ये कहाँ से
there was a big piece of wood here, did you see it? The boatman said,
नहीं है
that was not ordinary wood.
चीर चार करके हमने नौकर
Carving that, I made a boat that is able to protect and help so many people.
खुद
Now
कहता है
that boat
हजार
itself
को
helps
पार करता है
hundreds and thousands of people cross from one side to the other.
तुम्हारे संग में
By your association,
और लकड़ी डूब रहा था तुम भी डूब रहे थे
you were drowning and that wood was also just floating uselessly.
संग के प्रभाव से
But you see, now
नौका बन गए
it is a boat that is helping so many
यही
people.
पद्धति
So, what is the nature of the conditioned soul? They have no strength or power and no knowledge. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur said when he was in his Bagh Bazar mat in Calcutta doing Nagar Sankirtan, at that time they had a big
देखा
assembly.
एक गरीब बुढ़िया आ
He
गया
saw one old lady came,
उनके अपने अंचल से
and in her shawl
गए तो थोड़ा
she had bound a little bit of rice that she had collected
प्रणाम करके
while begging.
प्रभुपाद जी को दे
She offered pranam to Prabhupada and gave it to him. Prabhupada accepted that small amount of rice and tied it in his own chadar. After his kirtan, he said, look, I have received this one palmful of rice. Today, this rice will go and be offered to Thakurji. It will be cooked today and offered to Thakurji. He told the cooks and the pujaris. Then what did they do? Prabhupada said like this. He said she came with desire to serve. She was very poor and had no good cloth or anything. She was wearing a tattered cloth and was an old beggar lady. But she made this palm full of rice, brought it for Krishna. And he said, "Oh, do you know how Draupadi became a princess and so dear to Krishna? In her previous life, she was a poor beggar lady, and she offered a portion of her cloth to Jagannath as arti because she had no money to make a ghee lamp. Then in her next life, someone was trying to steal her clothes, and Krishna became hundreds of meters of clothes and protected her and accepted her. So see, just a small service is accepted by the Lord and considered to be very great. Krishna stole all the clothes of the gopis, then he gave it to Draupadi. So Prabhupada said, if you do a little bit of service even, this is the priceless jewel of your life. This will pull you out of samsara and give you mamata and anurag. But if you have no tendency to serve, then what will you do? Here it is described, therefore, when the gopis took birth in Braj, as sages before, they were doing tap, austerity, and renouncing everything and doing yagyas, but they did not do service. When they came to Braj, however, by the association of the Nityasiddhas, they developed the tendency to serve. They would milk the cows and make yogurt, and then churn it and make butter and give it to Krishna and Nanda Bhavan with their own hand. They would serve like this. In Damodar Leela we heard how the fruit seller lady gave one fruit or few fruits. Before, she would bring second-hand fruits or not very good nice fruits, but then gradually she brought nicer and nicer fruits, and she offered them to Krishna and then could not return home to Mathura. She became completely one-pointed in pure love because Krishna accepted those fruits she offered. So the gopis in this way served in Braj and developed their anurag further and further. And by the arrangement of Yogamaya, some gopis who did not have the association of the Nityasiddhas, they were stopped by their relatives. And then their anurag and utkanta, eagerness, developed higher and higher. Just like if you try to stop a current of water, then it will pile up higher and higher. It will break the shores and it will flood the banks and go in all directions and break everything until it can be released or the dam is broken. So it is like this. If you have very powerful eagerness to meet with Krishna and somehow you are stopped, then that eagerness will increase and increase and increase until finally it breaks the dam or whatever is the obstacle in your meeting. In this way, by the intense heat of separation from Krishna, all the asubha and subha, both the pious and impious results, which were both obstacles, they were both destroyed, and they left their body made of matter and achieved their transcendental forms. In the Vaishnav Toshini, Jiva Goswami states, the gopis that met with Krishna, in these two verses, they are described. They had an immeasurable separation, and it manifested as like a burning fire and agony, desire to meet with Krishna. What made this heat and fire? Krishna's flute. When Krishna played his flute and the sound of it came in their ears, at first they had not yet received that amrita. When they received that transcendental topmost nectar in their ears, then it made a reaction within their heart like this, and they began to feel the fire of separation. Some people will have some amount of greed, but if they become very close to Krishna and still cannot meet him, then this increases more and more. Or if they achieve it and then someone pulls them away from it, or they are somehow separated from what they just achieved, then even more separation will come. They had seen Krishna, seen him, and had some connection with him and service, and in this way their anurag was increasing. But when they heard the sound of the flute and Krishna invited them, and gave them this nectar of his adaramrita from his lips through the flute. Then an intense eagerness developed and a heat in their bodies, like a fire burning within them, before they would see Krishna and return home and not feel such intense suffering or burning of separation. But when they heard this flute, then it became like a burning fire within them, and in this way it burnt their gunamaya deha, body made of matter, and they achieved their transcendental forms. Achyuta is Krishna, or he who is infallible and who frees us from this world. So in this way he freed them from all their bondage and accepted them. Therefore his name is Achyuta. He does not want anyone to stay far away from him or to make anyone separate from him. Krishna cannot tolerate seeing the suffering of his devotees. He saw, they are so sad, thinking about me and wanting to meet with me. I must accept them. I went to their home so many times and met with them, but they did not have that same utkanta, eagerness. Now this eagerness has developed to such an extreme degree that I must accept them directly. If in a natural way someone meets, people do not understand the value of that. If it is very easy and spontaneous or natural, Krishna saw them many times, they saw Krishna, but they did not have this powerful anurag. But now, after hearing the sound of the flute, they had a burning desire to meet with Krishna, and when an obstacle came, at that time their eagerness became very intense. By their meditation, they achieved Sri Krishna, the reservoir of bliss. Markandeya Rishi described like this. What does he want to explain? Why were they absorbed in this dhyan of Krishna, and why was their eagerness so intense? Because from childhood they served Krishna through patram pushpam phalam toyam, leaves, flowers, fruits, water. Whatever they would receive, they would offer to Krishna. Like what would Jiva Goswami do in his childhood? When Rupa and Sanatan went to meet Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu came to Ram Keli, Rupa and Sanatan and Anupam offered Jiva at the feet of Mahaprabhu, and they put him at Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. Mahaprabhu said, "Whose Jiva is this? Who is it?" They said, "He is your Jiva." "Oh, you have given him to me." When Rupa and Sanatan left to Vrindavan, what would Jiva do? His father also left with Rupa and Sanatan and left his body as well. Rupa and Sanatan told Anupam, "Oh, Anupam Vallabh, we are both worshipping Krishna, you should also worship Krishna." He began to think about this. But he said, "I have offered my head at the feet of Raghunath Ram. I cannot take it back from his lotus feet. But you are my elder brothers, I cannot disobey your request." Then he developed so much intense separation from Raghunath Ram that he could not stay. When he was going on the bank of the Ganga towards Jagannath Puri, there he gave up his body. This deep, powerful separation cannot be tolerated by the material body. This mamata was so powerful for Ram. Like Dasarath chanting Ram Nam gave up his body. Similarly, Anupam gave up his body chanting the names of Lord Ram. Rupa Goswami performed his final rites and then continued on his way to Puri. Jiva Goswami was just a boy now without his uncles and father. He was with his mother. But what would he do? He made a deity of Krishna and Baladev, and he would offer bhoga to them and would put them to rest and serve them all day. He would do their archana even as a young boy. Where did this anurag come from? This was innate, and by the association of Rupa and Sanatan. and by the mercy and acceptance of Mahaprabhu when he was an infant.
इस अनुराग के कारण क्या हुआ
By
आगे?
this anurag, what happened?
रह न सके।
He could no longer stay
थोड़ा
at
बड़ा
home.
हुए तो
When he was a little bit
बोले,
older,
"मैं जा रहा हूँ।"
like a teenager, he told his mother, please let me go to Navadvip to study there and to meet with Nityananda Prabhu, who is present there. He came and had darshan of Nityananda, and Mahaprabhu had told Vishnupriya in a dream, your son is coming.
तुम किसी को दर्शन देती नहीं,
You do not give darshan to anyone, but give mercy to my son and your son, who is coming.
देना और आशीर्वाद
Give
देना।
darshan of your feet, lotus feet, and give blessings. This is my request.
नित्यानंद प्रभु को
And Nityananda Prabhu
उसे हमको कृपा करने के लिए
gave mercy as well to Jiva by the request of
क्या
Mahaprabhu.
हुआ?
Then what happened?
स्वयं विष्णुप्रिया देवी
Vishnupriya herself, who would never come outside of her home in the daytime, and who came out, and she gave her lotus feet both on top of the head of Jiva. This was not possible for anyone. And she gave the prasad that she had offered to Jagannath as well to Shri Jiva. Nityananda Prabhu came and gave his mercy as well to Jiva and took him on darshan of all Navadvip Parikram and Gaur Mandal. He showed him all the pastime places of Mahaprabhu and made him intimately acquainted with them. What happened as a result of that? Nityananda Prabhu gave him his mercy and then said, go to Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu also wants you to go to Vrindavan. He has given your lineage a place there. There you can go and serve your Pran Priyatam. He offered himself in their service, and then, as Radha Damodar, they manifested before him. Here, it is described what is samyog. If some obstacle comes in samyog, which is intimate meeting with the Lord, then your separation will increase more and more. If you have desire to meet with Him, then what will that do? It will cut through any remaining obstacle, so that when the external obstacle comes, it helps develop your heat of separation, and that heat will be able to burn through the real obstacle and the shubha or ashubha that is holding you back from that direct meeting with Krishna without any other tinge of any other relationship. Therefore these obstacles arise. The gopis had no karma bandhan. It was not like a bond of the fruit of reaction or karma. There was no karma bandhan or no pap, no sin. It was only to increase the powerful eagerness to meet with Krishna and the strength or intensity of their love. And in this way it burned through any remaining obstacle. When Sandipani Muni's wife requested Krishna and Baladev to bring back their son, Krishna and Baladev went to Yamalok and told Yamaraj, give back the son of my gurus. Yamaraj, what could he do? He had to abide by the order of Krishna and Baladev, and he gave back the son. When he met with Krishna and brought back the son of Sandipani Muni, then Krishna brought him back to his parents. So Sri Krishna performs these wonderful pastimes. If someone develops the absorption in his service, then these obstacles will come, and by those obstacles their attraction and eagerness for meeting in direct connection with Krishna will increase, and then they will break through everything. Therefore these obstacles are favorable. Therefore it is said, Kama Dvesha Bhat Snehad, by calm lust, by Dvesh or envy, by bhai or fear, or by hatred and constant absorption of Krishna, they will meet with him quickly. This is one quick way to meet with God. If you have anger towards God, and you're always thinking of this and Him in anger, or you have lust and are always thinking in lust,
अनुराग है,
or if you have
अनुराग
bhai
की
or fear and are
और
always thinking of the Lord in fear or envy, these are all quick ways to meet with the
और
Lord.
अधिक काटकारी हो। कहते हैं
But they must be intense.
गोपियां उपपत्ति के रूप में कृष्ण को प्राप्त
The gopis achieved Krishna in the form of an upapati, a paramour.
अनुराग की
He was not their direct husband.
कहते हैं कि गोपियां कृष्ण को अपने पति के रूप में प्राप्त नहीं की।
The gopis did not achieve Krishna as a husband, and they did not want this also.
मेरा प्राण प्रियतम
They
परमेश्वर,
wanted him to be their pran priyatam, their
स्वाभाविक प्रेम है।
dearmost beloved. They had natural love like this.
वो बुद्धि नहीं था कृष्ण
They
को।
did not have a bhog buddhi or
जहाँ
desire
वो
to
बुद्धि है,
enjoy him.
तहाँ पर
If there is a mood of
वो
enjoyment,
संभव नहीं।
then one cannot achieve
भगवान
God.
वो करने की वृत्ति
God will take away the desire to enjoy him. Everyone has a desire to enjoy, but we heard in the previous verses, everyone performs worship
वो करने के
to enjoy God and to make him their servant. O God,
एकदम
give me
वो के सामग्री
all facility for
शरीर
enjoyment.
अच्छा कर दो,
Make my body very healthy so I can enjoy. Make my mind very smart and sharp.
दौलत दे दो,
Give me a nice environment and relatives and wealth.
मदद करो।
Help me in all ways for my enjoyment. As long as we have this kind of
क्योंकि भगवान
conception in our mind, then we cannot meet with Krishna directly. We will be cheated
बनाना चाहते हैं।
because we want God to be like our slave,
भगवान कहेंगे,
but with no relation to Him.
तू मुझे
So Krishna
पागल
said,
बना रहा है।
"Oh, you will do sadhan and make me pagal." But
अर्जुन के रथ में जैसे सारथी बना दिया,
Arjuna made me
रथ लेके चलो,
his charioteer, and he said, "Oh,
घास खिलाओ,
massage the horses, feed them grass, give them water,
उनको
groom
बुलाओ,
them,
हैं?
wash them."
तो मिलने पर क्या करेगा?
Then meeting with God, will we just make him a slave?
कृष्ण और अर्जुन
Therefore once Krishna and Arjuna together were going in the forest. Krishna said, "Arjuna, let's go into the forest."
तो अर्जुन
So
खुश,
Arjuna was happily going
अपनी गाड़ी
with Krishna. Why?
कृष्ण बोलता है,
Satriyas are like this. So he was happily going into the forest with his Gandiva.
जब
Then one time Krishna said, "I'm very thirsty. Go and find some water for me."
मैं गांडीवधारी,
So Arjuna went into the forest searching for water. He found one ashram, like a simple hut. And in that hut,
साधु,
he saw right outside there was a very tall
जो
sadhu, very effulgent and strong, with big, brilliant eyes and long hair.
साधु को दिखा,
He was bright and effulgent. Then he saw there was a sharp sword
तलवार को धार दे रहा है,
by the sadhu, and he was sharpening it with a
और
whetstone.
से
And then he also had a
उसको
large, strong bow,
उठता बैठता है,
and he would string that bow and
अर्जुन
do it
कहते हैं,
again and
साधु
again.
वेश में तलवार रखता है,
Then Arjuna said, "Oh, you are a sadhu, but why are you acting like a kshatriya with a sword and a bow?"
वो देखकर वो घबरा गए,
He had come to ask for water, but seeing the sadhu like this, with a bow and arrow and sword that he was sharpening,
साधु महाराज,
then he asked the sadhu, "Oh, can I ask you something?"
बोले, तुम कौन हो, किस लिए आए?
Then he said, "Who are you? Why have you come here?"
आया तो था तुम्हें पानी के लिए, क्योंकि
He said,
पानी नहीं चाहिए,
"Oh, I came for water, but I do not want water. I'm interested. Why are you polishing and sharpening this sword and sharpening the arrows for that bow?"
वज्रदीप मुझे
He said, "Oh,
द्रौपदी मिले ना,
if I find Draupadi,
पहले दो टुकड़ा करूंगा,
I will cut her in two pieces with this sword.
और अर्जुन मिले,
And if I find Arjuna, with one arrow I will shoot him
छुटकारा
and free him from this body and burn him to ash."
अर्जुन भी इतना बड़ा बलवान,
Arjuna was so strong and such a great hero, but he began to shiver and tremble and sat down. Then he said, "Why?"
बोल नहीं सके, कुछ और सके, कुछ
He could not ask. He was like,
ढूंढते आए,
he lost all power. Then Krishna, searching for Arjuna, came there and he said, "Oh Arjuna, what happened?" He was wet with his own perspiration, sweat. Then he said, "Oh Arjuna, what happened?" "Oh, I came here searching for water."
फिर धनुष किसके आए,
Then he asked the sadhu, "What happened?" The sadhu said to Krishna, "Oh, he asked me why I had this sword and bow, and I told him, oh, if I find Arjuna, I will shoot him and kill him, and if I find Draupadi, I will cut her in two." Krishna said, "Why would you do that?"
बोले मेरा प्राण प्रियतम कृष्ण को
"Why?
परमेश्वर
Oh,
को
they turned my priyatam praneshwar Krishna into a servant.
घास
They gave him horses to massage, to feed grass, and they made my Krishna like a chamcha, like a servant. Oh, and Draupadi, we are born naked, and we must all die and be burnt or thrown in the water or buried. But, oh, she was so attached to this body, she called Krishna and made him become her cloth and say, oh, protect me, give me cloth, give me cloth. We are all born naked, so why are you attached to this body? She did not think to attain God and to be free of all attachment. Instead, you are only thinking of your own body. Therefore, the sadhu was very angry like this, and Arjuna was completely astonished and full of fear. And Krishna in this way showed what is the real tendency of the devotee. Where is the tendency to serve and show love? And the other side is, oh, day and night we do sadhana and pray to God for things, and then if we get association of God, what will we do? We will ask for more and more. Therefore Krishna cheats such people, giving them external things. He says, I will give them external things of Maya, and I will send Sankaracharya, I will send Shiva to teach everyone that they are all God, and then they will not come to me and disturb me, or I will make them like demons. I will give them all facility, and they can enjoy far away from me, but I do not want them near me. Therefore it is said, Bhukti Mukti Jan Palaya, Krishna Bhakti Naden Raken Lukaya. He will give Bhukti and Mukti, material enjoyment or liberation, but he will not accept him directly into Braj in a loving relationship. On another place it says, Krishna says, if the jivas want poison, why should I give it to them? They are foolish. They do not have knowledge. They do not know anything. But they ask God for poison. So why would I give them Vishai, sense enjoyment, which is like poison? They are doing bhajan. Why would I give them the poison of Vishai? I will give them my Charanamrita. In this way, they will be freed from the ghost of Maya that haunts them. Mahaprabhu asked, he wanted to take sannyas. She told him, oh, your father died, he left, and your older brother also left and took sannyas. So she said, oh, if you also leave, what will I do? But he said, oh, mother, what? Then Mahaprabhu said these verses. Oh, mother, the son gets wealth and gives that to the house to maintain the house. If you take that, your dharma will be destroyed. You cannot achieve paradharma, the real dharma, or the real purpose of human life. But what will I come to give you? Ordinary sons, they go and collect wealth and help maintain the family. But I will collect Krishna Prem, which is the highest wealth. I will not give you any ordinary thing. I will give you the Lord's lotus feet and relationship with Him. That is the essence and the topmost sum and bonum of all transcendental wealth. But worldly people will not say like that. They will say, oh, let my son be educated and get a really good job, and then he can bring nice cars and get a good house and have so many good friends in high positions. But Mahaprabhu taught Sachimata very nicely. He said, mother, do not think like that. Our relationship should not be mundane. To maintain the body is not everything. I will bring you Bhagavat Prem and give you that. That is the topmost wealth and the topmost possession. If you receive that, then you will never have any lacking in this world. But who can understand this? Therefore, on one side, there is Bhukti and Mukti, and on the other side, there is Bhagavat Prem, pure love. On the other side is Bhog and Moksha, or enjoyment and liberation, and on the other side there is pure love. But most people are only going for the sense enjoyment or the liberation or freedom from suffering, and they have no desire for pure love and relationship with God. But Krishna sees, if someone is foolish and they do not know anything, they do not know better, and they ask for these things for sense enjoyment or for liberation, and they ask God for this, He will not give it to them, because He sees, oh, they are innocent and foolish, so I will not give them this poison. I will give them myself. I will give them my Charanamrita and accept them. Therefore, to some people, God does not give anything, and to others He gives everything, but what does He really give? To some He gives all material things, and to some He does not give anything material, but He only gives His anurag. Therefore, the gopis who performed worship of Krishna as their pran priyatam, the beloved of their life, the result came that today Paramatma, Parampurush, Parabrahma
हृदय में
appeared in their hearts, and he played in their hearts and entered and appeared in every pore of their body. And in that time they had no physical awareness of their surroundings and body, and they became 100% absorbed in the Lord. And at that time they left their bodies and appeared before Krishna in their spiritual forms. Those who are Ramgaya in this world, who are always absorbed in the activities of this world, they cannot approach God, and those who are always thinking of God, Maya cannot touch them. Therefore, it is not hard to give up the husband, the wife, the family, but to give up attachment to the body and material desires, that is very hard. To be separate from everything and everyone. If you commit suicide still, you will take birth or be a ghost and be bound in matter in your subtle body, but God will not appear in every pore of your body, in every thought of your mind. If you take poison or cut your wrists, you will leave this body, but will you get God? Will your moha be destroyed? Will you achieve any welfare? Nothing will happen. You will only suffer more. The gopis did not commit suicide. They did not commit any kind of suicide or any ordinary death. It was not like an ordinary death. They became completely Ramgaya, or completely absorbed in Krishna, and fully in thoughts of Krishna. In every pore of their body, only Krishna was present. So do not think that they committed suicide. Those do not think that, their husbands did not let them go to Krishna, so they committed suicide. Like these days, what happens? Someone gets a forced marriage, but they had love somewhere else. Their parents forced them into one marriage, but they have love somewhere else, so they take poison or burn themselves or hang themselves. But what happens by that? Otherwise, both will run away and hang themselves together, or jump off a bridge together and kill themselves. Or they will go on top of a high building and jump from it together. But what is the gain from that? We will only get another material body. So the gopis were not like that. They completely became absorbed in the Lord and His loving pastimes, and then, giving up their gunamaya dehas made of matter, at once they achieved transcendental forms. Putana came to Krishna, putting poison on her breast, and she got a good destination. Why? She only had a little tendency to serve. In her past life she had thought, if he were my son, I would give him my breast milk. But then later she thought, seeing what he did to her father Bali, she was the daughter of Bali, then she thought, yes, if I were to give him my breast milk, I would put poison on my breast and poison him, because look how he has cheated my father. Still, she had some tendency to serve, and therefore in her next life she took the birth as Putana, and her desire was fulfilled, and then she achieved a good position as a Datri, or an assistant to Yashoda Mata. So did Krishna kill Putana? Did Krishna kill any of the mothers who gave their breast milk to him? So why did he do this to Putana? So many cows gave him milk. Did he kill them? Did he take them out of their bodies? But Putana had some kapata. She had some hypocrisy, duplicity, and some anarthas still, and some obstacle in her meeting. Therefore, he had to take her out of this body and accept her in a pure form. So we should not think he killed her or caused any harm to her. He did not let her feel any pain or suffering. Instead, very lovingly, he took her soul out of that body of a demoness and gave her Swarup Siddhi. However, is how Putana left and the gopis left the same? Not in the least. He killed Putana, and the gopis left their bodies. Was it like Krishna killed the gopis? In one sense you could say yes, because playing his flute, as a result they died. Externally they left their body. And on one side also, Putana, by accepting her breast milk, by sucking her breast, he took out her life air, and then she also left. But it is not the same thing. Putana achieved the position as an assistant to Yashoda Mata, like another mother, but she was not fully absorbed like the gopis. She would develop further in that form and develop pure love, but she was not like the gopis. Krishna did not commit any violent act towards the gopis. Playing his flute, He accepted them directly in their pure transcendental form. It was not like he murdered the gopis.
कोई पुरुषों में आसक्त होकर के कितने लोग ऐसे ही कुछ करते हैं, किंतु वो लोग भगवत प्राप्ति नहीं कर सकते और न उससे मुक्त हो सकते। तो कृष्ण के प्रति ऐसा प्रियतम के भाव, चार रूपवती बुद्धि,
The gopis developed a priyatama bhav, the mood that he is my beloved. This is always auspicious. They did not approach Krishna with a violent mood or with an envious mood or any anger. They only had pure love. Therefore, this pastime, the obstacle arose only to increase their eagerness and love, and then they would be able to come to him more quickly. This was also not calm, not ordinary lust or bhog or enjoyment. It was only prem or pure love. And they had a desire to serve Krishna in an appropriate, favorable manner. Therefore, we must approach everything with a proper understanding of time, place, and circumstance. In Vrindavan, if someone takes birth as a leaf, a plant, a tree, and so forth, still their lives are successful because they get a chance to serve Krishna. They are surrendered to Krishna, and Krishna has accepted them. Krishna accepts the flowers, and the flowers of the plants and creepers, and the fruits of the trees, and the grass for the cows, and he moves in the forests. Therefore, it is said, what is the gain in achieving the birth of Brahma? It is better to take birth as a stone, leaf, or plant in Braj. If we get the association of Krishna, what need is there for position in heaven or in Brahmaloka? These are all very trivial. Sri Hari is not cruel. He does not want to hurt anyone or kill anyone. He did not play on the flute to kill the gopis. Do not think that Krishna played on his flute and then it was a killer. It is said, Tava katamritam tapta jivanam. The gopis prayed. In one sense they said, your katha is amrita. In the other sense, the other gopis were saying, your katha is mrita. It is a poison that kills people. They say, hearing your tava katha, then tapta jivanam, our lives are burning. Tapta is one form of like heat or burning. So they say, hearing your katha burns us like a fire. Still, this is not like an ordinary fire. It is a very sweet kind of burning separation, like we hear from Gurudev when you drink. It is like drinking boiling sugarcane juice, which is very sweet, and it burns so much, but still at the same time you cannot stop drinking it because it is so sweet. Those gopis who wanted to come to the Rasa-stali, and they wanted to achieve that ras, the Bhagavad ras, Braja Bhakti ras, and Braja Prem ras, how did they cross over everything and come to him? Therefore, Krishna taught Uddhava this great secret and told him about all the glories of the gopis, and then he sent Uddhava and said, go and see for yourself, just see how superior the gopis are. Even for a single moment, they cannot be separated from me. They are completely spotless, and their love is completely pure, without any spot. They are always absorbed in me. And also, I only know them. I am not present anywhere else. I cannot give myself like I give myself to them. In other places, God may go, but He is not fully and always present in their hearts. It is said, Vaishnaver Hriday Sara Govinda Vishram Govinda Kahena Mama Vaishnava Paran, that Krishna himself says, I go to those hearts where there is only place for me. and I am always present there. But if other people have desire for other things, Krishna will never go in their hearts. He will never enter their hearts. Therefore he told Uddhava, go to Braj, and there just see how the Sadhan Siddha gopis, when they met the Nitya Siddhas, by their association, they accepted me as their Pran Priyatama. Simply seeing them, you will be able to experience how their anurag is, and how wonderful and great that is. Where there is anurag, I am present there. And I can never be separate from them. I can never forget them. Even if I go distance externally, I cannot be separate from them. I will always be present with them, even 1,000 times. If you try to separate me from them, I will not leave. There's one saying, when Mahaprabhu was in Rath Yatra, at that time he was dancing and singing a verse of a poet. Mahaprabhu said, oh, in childhood, he repeated a verse, we met in a grove on the side of the Revati river under a beautiful tree. Sometimes I would go there and wait for you to come, and sometimes you would arrive first and wait for me. We had so much eagerness to meet, and meeting there was the topmost sweetness. Now I am present and you are present, but there is not that same sweetness as when we met in our youth. Everyone thought, why is this sannyasi singing this mundane love song? Why is he praying like this? Oh, I'm remembering that day when I met my lover, and when you were waiting for me and I was waiting for you under that tree. And then when we met each other, it was so sweet. Now we are both present, but I'm only remembering that time and that day. That sweetness is not here now. Then they thought, why is this sannyasi praying like this? No one could understand his mood. Swarup Damodar understood, but Rup Goswami was present, and again Mahaprabhu was reciting this verse and weeping while he was dancing. Then when Mahaprabhu, after Rath Yatra, went to bathe in the ocean, afterwards he met with Haridas Thakur, and by that time Rup Goswami had already written out the meaning or the real mood of Mahaprabhu's heart, and he put that on a palm leaf and put it in the straw of the roof and left. When Mahaprabhu came there, he saw that paper, and he took it down, and there each letter was beautiful and shining like a pearl, perfectly composed. Reading that, Mahaprabhu felt great happiness. Then he said, "O Swarup, how did this Rupa understand my heart and my real mood?" Swarup said, "That person upon whom you have given your mercy, if you have given everything to him, even yourself, then what remains?" Mahaprabhu remembered Kurukshetra, how Krishna was present in his royal attire amidst the horses and elephants and chariots and all the Satriyas. And even though the gopis were present there, they desired to meet with Krishna in Braj and to hear the sound of Krishna playing the flute and to be present performing pastimes with him there. And Krishna was also desiring this. The gopis knew nothing but Krishna. Therefore, how could Krishna be separate from them? Therefore, Krishna told Uddhava, even though I am here in Mathuras, really I am not here. At every moment, I am really there with those gopis. If you want to see me in reality, go there to Braj. Then you can see me. Where there is place only for me in their hearts. If there is no place for me, why should I go there? We say this place is for Krishna, a temple for Krishna. We may say this is my house, and really it is for God. But our love is not for God. Our love is for our friends, family, relatives. Then Krishna says, I am not there. I am there where there is love. My love is therefore for Braj. They have love for me and are always thinking of me. Therefore, I am always present with them. Because there are no materialistic people there with desires for gross sense enjoyment. Therefore, no one can make me separate from those Brajavasis. The Viraha in Braj
श्रील स्वामी की व्याख्या के अनुसार
was described in Sridhar Swami's commentary.
उस घर के अंदर
He said,
अप्रकट हुए
the gopis disappeared in those rooms. Krishna was in the rooms, and he took them in his arms and brought them to him in the forest of Braj. They were thinking of Prabhu, Krishna, and he was thinking, they want me, they want to come to me, but there is some obstacle. Therefore I will go and pick them up and carry them directly to me. There is no need for them to stay there any longer. Then no one could stop them. If Krishna himself is embracing you and taking you to him, then how can you be held back by anyone? How could anyone stop them then? Then the other gopis had to run to Krishna, but these gopis, they did not even have to go to Krishna. Krishna himself took them and carried them to himself. Therefore, this anurag present in every pore of the body, being completely absorbed in the Lord, this Krishna wanted to give this ras. These gopis already received it. Those who were coming to the Rasa-stali, they received this after. Krishna manifested this Rasa-stali to give that. But now, because there was an obstacle in the gopis coming to see him, then first he gave this to them. By Krishna's mercy, therefore, these gopis gave up their Gunamayi Deha and achieved their Aprakrita Deha and reached Sri Krishna at once. They did not become Brahmalin or merging within God. They did not achieve impersonal liberation like Shishupal received or Agasura. Do not think like the gopis achieved Sayujya Mukti and became